All right. Hello and welcome back to Stewardship Sales Academy. It is week 5 and we are overcoming objections. In today's video, we are turning no into a step towards yes. And I don't know about you, but I have been told no several times in my sales journey and felt like that was the end of the road. But what if I told you that it isn't a no rejection, but it's a step towards yes? Today, we're diving into how to reframe those objections, turn them into learning opportunities, and ultimately close more deals with confidence. So, your key takeaway is that objections aren't roadblocks, they are stepping stones. Again, that is, objections aren't roadblocks, they're stepping stones. So stick around until the end because I'll be giving you simple exercise to prepare for objections so that you'll never be caught off guard again. But before that, let's hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you never miss a video that takes your sales skills to the next level. Let's dive in. All right, this is why objections are a good thing. Most people think that objections are a rejection, but in reality, they're just a sign that your prospect needs more information or reassurance. Objections signal interest. If they weren't interested, they would not engage at all. For example, if someone says it's too expensive, they're not saying no to your product forever. They're saying that they don't see the value yet. So here's a little expert insight. According to Cognism, the best sales reps don't fear objections, they embrace them because they lead to deeper conversations and stronger relationships. So if you change your mindset to see objections as opportunities, you'll start winning more deals than ever before. Make sure it is about clarifying, it is about making sure that your client is as satisfied with your product or service as they possibly can be from moment one. If they have any hesitation or maybe they have a bad experience from the very beginning, if you didn't clarify everything up front, then they're going to be upset with you. It is not about you, it is about your client. It's about making sure their experience is as good as possible. So, in this next part, we're going to be diving into the most common objections and how to address them. All right, we are going to be discussing the 4 main types of objections and how to overcome them. So let's break this down and exactly how to handle each and every one of the objections. Number 1 is the price objection. It's too expensive, or they don't see the value of your product or service in their life right now. So, this is how to respond. I hear you. Price is an important part, but let's talk about the value. What's most important to you, cost or long term return on investment? Remember, you are selling your marketing services. You are making sure that they are clearly informed on your product. Make sure they understand the value and highlight how your service or your product pays for itself through increased leads, conversions, or time. With marketing, it may increase their leads and their revenue over time. It takes time to build up to that. With a product or equipment, it takes time to train people to use those. But once they are trained, maybe it doubles or triples their efficiency in the job, making it a better investment for the future. You have to show them exactly what it is your product does for them, or the what's in it for me question that we often get asked. Timing objections are number 2. Now isn't the right time, which is usually either with the timing of people, personnel, or maybe it's finances and they're not ready to make that commitment. This is how you can respond. I completely understand, but let's take a look at what's delaying this decision that might be costing you in missed opportunities. Make sure that they understand what they're missing by delaying not getting your product or service right now. And if they're hesitating on coaching or something like that, show them how waiting another 6 months will slow their business growth or make it so that their products are delayed to their clients in a growing market. If demand is there, but they aren't able to meet that demand, they're going to lose out on sales. Trust objections. I'm not sure that this will work for me. This is a really common one, especially for someone who isn't familiar with you and your product or service. It's a trust thing. So this is how I would respond. Hey, that's a fair concern. Many of my clients felt the same way. And here's a success story of someone just like you. You're sharing a real case study, a testimonial, or a result. People trust proof over promises. Again, that's people trust proof, your testimonials, your case studies, your results over promises. And your past can impact that too. So making sure that if they've had a bad experience with your company in the past, even if it wasn't with you, that you understand what their issue was, how it was addressed, and how moving forward and trusting you will give them better results now. Finally, authority objections. So I need to check with my boss, my spouse, my partner first. And this is a really common one, especially with small businesses. And this is how I would address that. Hey, that makes sense. Would it help if I join the conversation with them to answer any questions? This positions you as a problem solver who helps rather than just sales. And it makes sure that the expert is there to address any questions for the person who is actually going to be making the decision. Sometimes it's a team, sometimes it's an individual. Whatever that is, you want to be in front of the person or persons who make that decision. You are the expert on your product, your service. Make sure that you are there to address every question, to take on any objections, and make sure that you are providing the best service possible. When you're doing this, you're going to make more sales. It's just a fact. And you're going to make sure that that person doesn't just go off, get busy, and they forget about, handing this off to the next person. You make sure that that person informs the next person and that you get in touch with the right people. There are often those gatekeepers that prevent us from going further. Build the trust with them, make it so that it isn't just throwing everything onto them, that you are there, you are ready to go forward, you are ready to present. And that will help you in everything, good and bad, in sales. Next, we're reframing rejection. Every no is a lesson. So let's be real, getting a no stings, but what if you saw each no as data instead of a failure? So make sure that you're tracking your objections. Keep a simple log of every no and categorize it. Was it price, timing, trust? Identify those patterns. If 70% of your objections are about price, you need to improve how you communicate your value from the very beginning. Make sure that you're adjusting and improving and use these insights to refine your pitch so you hear yes more often. When you start doing this, you're going to see better results just simply because you're addressing some of those objections before they even happen. And making sure that you're addressing things along the way. Listen to your client, like we did in the active listening episode. You want to make sure that you are fully understanding your client, anything that they're having as a problem, and that you are solving that problem with your product or service, and address all the ways that you are doing that. If you're doing that, you're going to solidify your value and make sure that your price is there, your trust is there through examples, and making sure that they can get it right now because the timing is right now, and they need that urgency to push them forward and make a decision now. When they make that decision now, it'll help them out in the next 6 months. It'll help improve their sales. It'll help improve their life because your product or service does X, Y, and Z. And according to Mailshake, the top sales reps analyze objections weekly, tweak their messaging, and improve their close rates by up to 40%. And that is huge in sales. So let's keep working on adjusting things and making sure we're providing the best information possible to all of our potential clients. All right, now you are going to build your objection playbook. Your task today is to write down the 5 most common objections that you face in your industry. For each one, write a response using the strategies we discussed. And here's a pro tip: practice them out loud or role play them with a friend, your spouse, your business partner, whoever that may be. The more natural your responses feel, the more confident you'll be in real conversations. And drop a comment below. What's your most common objection that you hear? I'll personally reply with a strategy to help you overcome it. So let's wrap this up. Objections are not rejections, they're opportunities. Again, one more time. Objections aren't rejections, they're opportunities. Use your price, timing, trust, and authority objections as stepping stones, and track objections, refine your responses, and keep improving. In the next video, join me on Thursday where we'll dive into how to handle these objections in live conversations because you can never be prepared enough. So, this is going to be how you overcome those objections in real time. If this helped you, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today. Now let's go turn that no into a yes.